We are not free until and unless we have attained the knowledge of the self, right? It carries everything. So for this realized master, it's there, but it's very much false, like a shadow, like a reflection, like a thing. It's there. That's why they don't get affected. You know, in the Bhagavad Gita, how's there's no mana, apamana, shita, ushna, all of these things, how sukha, dukkha, how come they don't get affected? Because where is the ego to get affected? Where is it? It's false. That's why the Upanishad says, Kimichan kasya kamaya. Means, how come they have no desires? How come they have no desires? There's no desirer. How come they don't want to enjoy anything? There's no enjoyer. How come they never claim that I did anything? There's no doer. For them it's just this false entity that's just whatever. They've been consumed by the truth. They've been consumed by God. For us, we've been consumed by the ego. Do you see how sad it is? Do you see what kind of flimsy thing it is? And how unreal it is, how fake it is. But still we want to fuel it, still we want to keep it strong, isn't it? We're almost afraid to lose it. If someone harms our ego, how we feel. But the true test in a Vedantin is one who's able to let go of their ego. That's the real test.
So is it okay to have that identity for functional, transactional?
Yes.
Because you're not identifying it, but you need it to do something.
Yes. Yes. Functionally, you just use it to do. That's it. It's like, our superheroes, right? Let's say Bruce Wayne and Batman, right? Bruce Wayne, he knows that he's always Bruce Wayne, but every now and then he has to be Batman, right? He has to be Batman, he has to go save Gotham City, so much crime is happening, yeah, go here, there. But the whole time that he's Batman, he still knows he's Bruce Wayne. Huh? He just knows he has to be Batman, he has to put on this costume, he has to put on this thing, and he has to be Batman, because he has to do his dharma to save Gotham. But when he comes back, he says, oh, I'm Bruce Wayne.
So for us functionally, you could be all day doing your activity in that role.
Yes.
But you keep coming back to it.
We keep coming back to it. That's why they always say Vedanta is like a theater show, a play, a movie, wherein every day you go and you play a role. And you play a role so well that you put on a great, magnificent show. But guess what? When you come home, just like the actors and actresses will go to a green room and they will undress, take out their makeup, we will undress that ego and say, I am pure awareness. Now, back to the real me. That's just my show. So every morning, you and I are putting on a show. We're putting on a magnificent show, doing whatever we're supposed to do, our dharma to the best of our abilities. And if we don't do that show well, very difficult to be in the green room of meditation. So we have to do a really, really good show. And then, after the show, undress in meditation.
But the key is while you are acting, you know you're not the role, you are.
Exactly. Yeah, just like all the superheroes, they always know. Spider-Man always knows he's Peter Parker. Right? Wonder Woman always knows that she's Wonder Woman. They always know. They always know who they are.
But if they start identifying their character, then they are mixed up with the ego.
Yes. And you will see in the film industry, when the actors, they start to identify with the characters, what happens? They lose it. They become depressed. Right? There's some actors who really lost themselves in the character. I think it was the Joker. I became so depressed. He didn't know what to do. So the trick is, even you and I are acting. When we get lost in the character, danger zone. And you see in the film industry, it's happening. But when you remember the reality, then very nice. You know? Like Abhishek Bachchan, Priyanka Chopra, right? When they act in their roles or whatever, they're acting. But they come out to who they are. So we're also acting. And the idea is, while we're acting, to know who we are, and when we are in that state of meditation, to revel in who we truly are. See? So this ego is just a show. It's just a game. It's just a reflection. It's just a shadow. Nothing more than that.
But in this example, like, aren't they acting to satisfy their ego? Like in the film industry, they want more money, they want more recognition.
Yes, so that's why I give the example of superheroes first. Because the superheroes are acting out of selflessness. For Loka Sangraha. Batman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, all of these people are acting out of Loka Sangraha. Our saints and sages, they also act out of Loka Sangraha for the welfare of all. So not for selfishness, but for selflessness. Yes? We will take one more, and then we will have a discussion. I'll just introduce you to this verse. People say, now why do you want me to realize this truth? Why do you want me to know that I am Atma? Besides this bliss, first of all, you keep talking about this bliss and I don't even get it. I don't even know what this bliss is. So I don't even know if I want to realize Atma, because what is this? So Adi Shankaracharya says, hey, there's another result which I'm going to tell you about. And knowing this result, I'm sure you're going to want to know the self even more. What is that result? Verse 27. Rajju sarpavadatmanam
Rajju sarpavadatmanam
Jivam nyatva bhayam vahet
Jivam gyatva bhayam vahet
Naham jiva paratmeti
Naham jiva paratmeti
Nyatasche nirbhayo bhavet
Nyatasche nirbhayo bhavet
Rajju sarpavadatmanam Jivam nyatva bhayam vahet Naham jiva paratmeti Nyatasche nirbhayo bhavet Rajju sarpavat. Just like a serpent in the rope, Atmanam, oneself, Jivam Nyatva. One considers this Atma to be Jiva, just like one considers the rope to be a snake. And if one does that, what happens? Bhayam vahet. They carry with them so much fear. Na aham jiva. But the one who knows I am not jiva, paramatma iti. The one who says I am paramatma. Nyataschet. One who knows that. Nirbhayaha bhavet. They become fearless. When do we have fear? When we see in that rope, we see a snake. What happens? We become afraid. My goodness, that snake's going to bite me, it's going to poison me, it's going to do so many things to me. But the minute we know that that snake is actually a rope, what happens? Fearlessness. The fruit of this knowledge is abhaya, fearlessness. Why? What are my greatest fears? I fear fear that. We fear sometimes there might be disease for the body. How am I going to die? How am I going to die? I don't want to be bedridden and I don't want people to have to take care of me and all of that. I'm not the body. Will you have fear of the body then? All the fear is gone. All the fear of how you're going to die is gone because you're not the body. Who cares? Let it do whatever it has to do. It will go through its prarabdha. That's the way it's meant to do. May it's meant to be. I'm afraid about the mind. That maybe I'll keep forgetting something. My mind is losing it. I'm losing my hearing. I'm losing my sight. What does Vedanta say? You're none of that. Your mind is naturally, the body will naturally decay, go through disease. That's what it does. It's dharma. The mind will naturally forget. It will become weak. It will go through so many things. But we're not the mind. Why are we so scared of it? I'm scared that somebody will crush me, someone will insult me, someone will criticize me, someone will beat me in competition. We're not the ego. Then what do you have to be scared of? When I stop identifying with all of these things, then where is fear? There is none. Fear is just an illusion. It's an illusion produced by the mind because we're identifying with the limited. And as long as you and I are identifying with something limited, we want to protect it. We care. We're afraid how to secure it, how to protect it, how to keep it like this, how to keep it like that. But the minute you and I know we have nothing to do with it, where's fear now? It's gone. Fear, F-E-A-R, means what? Means false emotions appear real. They're just appearing real. It's just a notion. So if I want to be free from fear in this world, I'll give you a few techniques. One technique is to know the self. Because when one knows the self, then you're fearless. Have you ever seen an enlightened person or heard of an enlightened person who's afraid of where they're going to go, what they're going to be? Adi Shankaracharya ji left his home 8 years old with barely anything. He didn't know where he was going to go, where he was going to get food, what's going to happen. He just left. Fearless. The second way to be fearless is to be completely detached. If I want to be fearless, then I have to learn how to be detached. Because attachment creates fear. I'm afraid to lose somebody in my life. I'm afraid to lose something in my life. So you know what? Sometimes I compromise my values to keep that person close to me. I compromise my values to stay in that place of work, to stay in that position. I compromise so much because I'm afraid that it's going to go. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose it. But one who is detached, what happens? Let it come, let it go. It's okay. It's okay because I'm not attached to it. I'm attached means I'm dependent on it for my security and for my happiness. But for one who is completely detached, then will they even be afraid? Will they be nervous? Will they be scared to be alone? No. So that detachment brings absolute fearlessness. So one, we have knowledge of the self. One, we have detachment. What else brings fearlessness? What do you think?
Total surrender to God.
Total surrender. Faith. Faith brings fearlessness. You know, sometimes you and I plan too much. In 5 years, this is going to happen. In 6 years, this is going to happen. In 7 years, this is going to happen. And it's good to visualize. But if things don't go according to plan, if my life doesn't go according to what I thought it would go, then complete surrender. You know why? Bhagavan has a better plan. God has a better plan. So the people who have that devotion, who have that surrender, they're fearless. They're fearless because they're in the hands of God. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gives this very beautiful example. He says there's two students. There's two kinds. One student is like the cub of a monkey, and one student is like a kitten. What do you mean? See, a mother monkey and the baby monkey, what happens? The baby monkey has to hold on to the mother monkey all the time, no? Hold on, hold on, hold on. If it lets go, what will it do? You know, it has to keep holding on. But what about the mother cat and the kitten? With the cat, she holds on to the kitten. She takes the kitten and the kitten is free. The kitten doesn't have to do anything. It's just taken here and there, here and there, here and there. The ones who lack faith are like the baby monkey who feel like they always have to do, they always have to do, and they always have to control everything, and they always have to be in charge, they always have to be in charge. The ones who have faith are like the kitten. They do, but they let God take them. Let God take them. There's a part that we do, and there's a part that we allow to happen. And if we just go with the flow of it, it works out. Even better than you and I ever could conceive of. So for one who has full faith and full surrender, where is the fear? If one has full faith in God, then you know God has a better plan for you. Why are you worried? I told you before, when you worry, what happens? We insult God. We insult God. We think that God doesn't know better. It's an actual insult. Just like if your children came home one day and were worried about food. That's an insult to you. How can you not have food for your kids? Bhagavan's saying the same way. How can I not have a plan for you? Right? An insult. Fourth way to tackle fear. What else? What brings fearlessness in an individual? When one does their dharma, they will be fearless. Have you ever seen someone who does adharma? What are they like? You ever seen those teenagers who come home very, very late and they don't want their parents to see? How do they come home? They're like sneaking. First they take off their shoes because it makes too much noise. Then they'll sneak inside, and they'll try to hide, and they'll slowly go into the bed, and hopefully you didn't catch them. Because they're doing adharma, right? Or sometimes when we're driving so fast in the highway and we see a cop, so slowly, we're slowing down, hopefully the cop didn't see us. Because we're doing adharma. Or when you go late to work, what happens, right? You're hoping your boss is not looking, and you're just gonna go make your way and then pretending that you've been there already, make your way to the desk. Because we've done adharma. But when we do dharma, what happens? How do you walk in your house when you do dharma? You will go through the front door, right? You're like, hey mom, hey dad, dharma. If we're driving and we do dharma, so relaxed, so at ease, not afraid. If we go into work early, we do what we're supposed to do. If we're actually working and not on Facebook, everybody can look at my computer, it's okay. Right? Fearless. This is how fearlessness comes in. Vyavahara. So, what truly brings fearlessness is Advaita. That's on the top of the list. Don't forget that. I added all the other ones just to make us feel better because Advaita can be tough, right? So, Advaita, true Advaita makes us fearless. Because when we don't identify with the limited, then what fear do we have? Let whatever happen to this body, let whatever happen to this mind, this intellect, this ego notion, who cares? I'm not that. So let it go on. Second level of fear in the world, one who's detached, fearless, absolutely fearless. If I am afraid, please assess it. It means there's an attachment there. Or there's lack of faith, or there is adharma. Third is, when one has full faith and full surrender, where is fear? If I am still afraid of the future, that means I haven't surrendered to God. Fourth is, when I do dharma, then I am fearless. I am totally okay. Nyatas chet nirbhayaha bhavet. So now I will just summarize these and then give you some questions to discuss, and then you will see. Today we covered quite a bit. We started with how Atma is the non-doer. Atma is not the one who's the karta, bhokta, drashta, etc. Atma is the non-doer, although we have some mistaken notions that Atma is the doer. And Adi Shankaracharya ji says, I'm not going to just give you examples, but I'm going to give you some logic about how Atma is a non-doer. And he says, just as raga, dvesha are only there when the mind is there and are not there when the mind is not there, the same way that notion of doership, enjoyership is only there when that ego notion is there. And when the ego notion is there, it's not there. So that proves that what's not always with you cannot be your nature. So then what is my nature? My nature is Sat Chit Ananda. I didn't go through this in detail because we've already seen Sat Chit Ananda in detail. Then how come I feel like I have this ego? Why? Because just as the sun reflecting in a bucket of water produces a reflection, so too there is a reflection of consciousness. Because that reflection is happening, I feel like that is the ego. I feel like that's me. And it is that which identifies with this body, mind, and intellect. It's that which forgets that it's actually the sun. It's actually Atma. And doing this, identifying with the limited, I am born. This ego is born. And actually, nothing happens to Atma. Nothing can happen to Atma. Atma never became Jiva. The mind actually is made up of inert matter. It can't actually come together. But because I have this notion, then what we call it as superimposition happens of this self and the not-self. And so the reflection of consciousness is this ego. But what is this ego? It's actually such a false thing. It's a false entity. It's as flimsy as a reflection. And I take it to be so real. So what am I supposed to do? It's just a show. It's just part of this one big grand show. And every now and then the ego has to go perform. Let it perform. Let it do whatever its dharma is. But let me always come back to myself and know that I'm something deeper and I'm not this individuality, I'm not this ego. Even sometimes I can strongly say, oh, I don't have ego, I still have ego, right? The idea is to completely surrender that ego. And until that's done, until and unless that happens, moksha won't happen. Why should I do it? Why should I surrender this ego? Why should I sublimate this ego? Why should I get this ego dissolved? one of the Swamis said that the only solution is dissolution. Dissolution. Ego. Why? Why should I get this dissolved? Because the fruit of it is fearlessness. True fearlessness comes to someone who knows the self, because they no longer identify with what's limited. So you follow the train of thought for today? Yes? So now I will give you some questions and you can discuss for a little bit and then we can answer, we can share our thoughts. So one is, the first question is, explain how Atma is the non-doer. Explain how Atma is the non-doer. Question number 2, and that that you can use the example of verse number 22 or the previous verses that we saw. Question number 2. How does one minimize their likes and dislikes? What is the best way to minimize likes and dislikes? Number 3. How is the ego formed? So you can use verses 25 and 26 for this. How is the ego formed? And what should my attitude be towards this ego? And question number 4. Why is an enlightened person fearless? Okay, so just 4 questions today. Okay, so maybe you can make 2 groups and you can mix and match, and then we, 10-15 minutes, and then we will.